So thanks, Kisa, for doing the recording. Welcome, everybody. We're excited to be back with you. July was a busy month, but it's fun to get back on with the Quillo Nation calls, and we appreciate everybody taking the time to get back on with us. For our agenda today, we of course will talk about good news. So think about your organizations. What are some of the things that are happening? And we'll give everybody a little time to kind of share any good news that you have. We will also do a thank you regarding our one-on-one time. So we've been talking with each organization about kind of how things are going, what's working, what do we need to also continue to improve. So we'll talk about some of the key takeaways that we're learning. And then also provide a Quillo Pro update. So hopefully all of you have been on the app and have noticed a different look and feel for Quillo Pro. And so we're gonna just highlight some of those things and some exciting news in terms of how you can leverage the library now. And then we'll wrap up and talk about the next call. So again, across the nation, here's where we currently have folks utilizing Quillo Pro. Those are the ones that are identified in green. So today we have folks on from Texas and Illinois, Wisconsin. Did I miss anybody? Did I get everybody? Okay.
California with Kayla.
Yep. So again, and of course, Indiana here, and then Minnesota with Rebecca. So again, welcome to everybody. So let's kick off with our good news bench and just share a little bit about some good news we have from Quillo in terms of how we're expanding our team. With us is Kayla Jefferson. Kayla joined us back, when was that, in August? We're in August, June. But Kayla is a channel manager for an organization out in California called the Valley Mountain Regional Center. And we're excited to have her with us. So as a channel manager, her responsibilities in working with that organization is to really help assist them with rolling out Quillo Pro in the organization and developing content and being creative with it. So I just want Kayla to spend a little time telling a little bit about herself, her background, as well as any personal information that she'd like to share with everybody. So Kayla?
Hello, everyone. My name is Quillo Jefferson. I am new to California. I just moved here about a year and a couple of months ago from Texas. I am currently getting my master's. I have undergrad at Texas Tech State University, and it's a mass media communications major. And then right now I'm doing the same thing, but I added mass media digital communications to that as well. And I moved here with my 5-year-old son. His name is Titan. And then we have 2 puppies named Blue and Riley. And pretty much I'm just happy to be here. And that's about it. Thank you, Sue.
Yeah. So we're just excited to have Kayla as part of our team. She's bringing a great deal of experience based upon her education and some of the previous jobs and roles that she's had. So we're very fortunate to have her. And we'll talk a little bit more about, that particular role and what we're looking to do with that as we talk about some of our key takeaways. So in addition to the good news bench that we want to talk about, I don't know if you have all seen the advertisements for this or not, but we're excited to share and do a little PR work for them. Born for Business, again, this is going to be highlighting some disabled entrepreneurs in a documentary series coming up. So we wanted to just take a moment and go ahead and give you an opportunity to kind of see the preview of what this is like. And so again, maybe it's something that you want to reinforce in your organization, but it's exciting to see what these individuals are doing. So let's take a look at their preview.
Being an entrepreneur is tough. It is so damn hard. But I am the boss. Boom.
And we all have one thing in common. We all have a disability.
My name is Kiana, and I'm the owner of the #1 plus-size boutique in the country.
My name is Chris, and I'm the managing partner in a couple music venues and a music festival. It's a wild business. It's my life's work.
I am Colette. I am an entrepreneur, and I make cookies.
My name is Lexi. I am the owner of an online business. It's very Instagrammable. Each of us has our own challenges to face.
Everyone's experienced anxiety, but did it get to a point where they couldn't leave their house?
Yeah, there's no one here. This sucks. This is just a nightmare. Like, what am I gonna do here?
After I graduated from college, no one would hire me.
The average person would not understand. There have been a lot of people who passed away from lupus.
Being a father is why I am an entrepreneur. I work my ass off so I can secure her future a little more quickly.
You need courage to be an entrepreneur.
We got you. We your family.
If you have a business, you have to be proud of that. You have to wear it on your sleeve.
If I pulled this off, it would change everything.
Creating jobs, that is my mission. I will never give up.
My disability alters the way I view the world simply by giving me a different lens through which to view it.
This is a part of me. It's just who I am. I was born to do this.
So it's exciting to see, again, shows like this, documenting the, success, the challenges. And so, again, if this is something that you want to promote, please do so. It is actually created by the folks that did Born This Way. And again, that was a very successful production. So please feel free to take a look as this kicks off here in the end of August. So great. Well, before we slide into our key takeaways, I want to, Rebecca, go back and just see if anybody else has some good news from their organization. What's been taking place throughout the summer months? What's the good news that you can share? And I hope everybody contributes something. So who'd like to kick off with, some good news? Dave, Joanna? Go ahead. Joanna, go ahead.
I don't know well, David's probably going to have different things. I just want to say Kendra had a baby boy. So,
Right.
and he's healthy and driving her crazy. Yay.
Yeah, excellent. So
Give her our best. That's exciting.
that is very exciting. Excellent. Great.
Thank you. I will. Okay, David, go ahead.
I was just going to say our unit went through a lot over the past year, and being reassigned to help other units, and going at one point being a COVID unit, and we're finally getting close to back to on track for our primary focus. We're getting our planned guest rosters full. And we've been providing a lot of help to folks in crises successfully. So it's good to be back. I hope that we stay on track to be back.
Yeah.
But that's a big hope. That's a big if.
Yeah, absolutely. But it does feel good to kind of have some sense of, the way it was.
Yeah.
So Jenny, how about your group?
Yeah, so this summer we were able to get a little bit of reprieve from the regular being locked inside and not having as much fun. So we had a lot of cool stuff going on. People we support getting to go to like baseball games and living their best lives in their community again, which was really awesome. We have our mask mandate, which has now been reinstated throughout our area. So we kind of snuck all the fun stuff in just in time before fall. And, I think that's really awesome. I have so many pictures of Mailers games, and there was this awesome light show, like a drive-in movie style light show that people went to. And it's really cool to see the ways that we've been able to find fun in different and more unique things. So
great. Thanks, Jenny. Meredith, anything to share on your end?
Yeah, so we officially opened and launched our living room program, which is a pilot that Illinois is doing throughout the state. And we were one of the organizations that was chosen to have a program like this. And it's basically an alternative to the emergency room for people who are experiencing a mental health crisis. People can go to this program instead and sit with people who've also experienced a crisis and just kind of calm down from the crisis and talk it out and get some support in a more relaxing sort of environment. So that's been really cool.
Wow, sounds like an interesting program. So, so this is kind of a pilot situation that they're going through. And when will they be doing the evaluation to kind of figure out, do we do this ongoing, or what's the time frame of this?
I am not certain about that, but I can let you know. I can look it up.
Yeah, well, just keep us posted as we continue these calls. It sounds like an interesting way to go there. Great. Okay. Well, thanks again for sharing the good news. Any other comments before we move off the good news bench? Because you know what? It's always fun to hear the positive things that are taking place. Anybody else?
I was looking at our numbers in terms of how many people we hired, how many people who left employment, and how many people who work here referred a friend to work here just over, the 2020 year. And we had like 30 or more % increase in retention. And we had like 200% increase in referrals of like friends telling friends to work here. So that was really powerful for me to see that we're doing something that, makes people feel comfortable to work here. So that was exciting.
That's great. Awesome. Well, I can also say for Indiana, they, just passed some legislation where they did increase the base salaries for direct support professionals, which I know that, individuals here have, been asking for that. So that's definitely a plus whenever the legislative sessions are able to continue to help fund that. So great to see that you're monitoring those things, Jenny, and finding that, you're seeing the positive side of that with both the retention as well as referrals. That's exciting. Great. Okay. Well, lots of good news out there. So yeah, and I think, some of the good news for us as Quillo, we continue to try to learn from everybody who subscribes to Quillo Pro and make sure that we're always improving. So this past month in July, we did our one-on-one conversations with all of our subscribers. And as we continue to listen to what you're telling us, we are hearing some key takeaways. And so one of the big ones is always time. Where do we use our time? How do we prioritize our work? What do we need to be doing? And so as we continue to figure out strategies to best leverage the use of Quillo Pro in organizations, one of the things that we want to do is we want to continue to think about, how do we value the time of our subscribers? How do we make sure that we are providing efficient service, support, everything like that to help you continue to leverage Quillo Pro in your organizations. The second one was kind of that on the content side, how do we create content? There's some challenges with some organizations feeling like, we just don't have the capabilities. Nobody's on staff that really understands how to create the content. So again, are there things that, Quillo can be doing in order to help support that in terms of creating the content and supporting the individuals and learning their skills, increasing their capabilities of being able to do that. One of the things that we're going to continue to take a look at is leveraging a role like we have Kayla here as this channel manager, and thinking about what are we able to do with providing either part-time or full-time if organizations would like an individual to be more one-on-one in working directly with you and your organization, trying to find the content, creating it, and getting that up on the app. So as we continue to work with each of you, think about that role and think about, is there a possibility that that is something that we could leverage and utilize? We do think that there are some opportunity perhaps to provide that role across a couple organizations so that the expense or cost of hiring someone could be, again, shared. So it wouldn't have to be a full-time responsibility on anybody's payroll or anything like that. But again, as we start to think about content development. Also, I noticed Rebecca put in the chat feature the email addresses of herself and Kisa. We just want to continue to emphasize that they're available to do some one-on-one training with your organizations. If there's someone in your organization that wants to develop the skills and become more of a content creator, we're very happy to help, run workshops or do anything like that to make that happen. I know next week, as a result of one of the calls, one of the individuals just said, Sue, what I need is I just need an hour of Zoom time with you guys. I'll put together my messages. You guys just help record it. And then I've got some videos that I can put up. So we've scheduled the content time for her, and we're going to do that next week. So I'm excited to see how that rolls for her organization. So think about those different ways, but that's, again, another key theme is just being creative on the content side. And then the last area was really just the current state. There are just still a lot of change taking place in organizations because of COVID. Policies were written to say, okay, you got to wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. And then all of a sudden we're back to, gosh, do we have to go back to that? So it's that constant change that's taking place in the current state of affairs. And so that's been really challenging this past year for a lot of the organizations. And I think what we're hoping for from a Quillo Pro standpoint is that we're providing a tool that can be implemented in some fashion where there's then consistency of messaging from leadership directly to the employees to be able to say, on an ongoing basis, here's what's taking place in the organization. Here's how we're continuing to work across these changes, these challenges that are taking place. So that current state right now is just in a lot of flux. So those were some of the key takeaways that we're hearing from organizations. John, anything to add to that as you've talked to some other leaders across the nation?
No, I think that we can't understand, and Dave, we can't underestimate what David talked about earlier. People have gone through a tremendous trauma of getting through this last year. And in dealing with that, we've rediscovered some important things about ourselves and our organizations. And one of them is resilience. It makes the numbers Jenny was talking about, and congratulations for studying those, Jenny, because I think until we study and gather data, we really don't know we have guesses of what we do. And then the question is, how do we celebrate that? How do we celebrate those folks that have brought somebody new on, referred somebody, and those that have stayed? It's really key at a time when we're all stretched for time. So that's key. The other thing I did in talking with a few of my folks that we'd recently, as we began rolling out Quillo Connect, our new version for families and individuals, we all had to go through and recategorize videos. And I saw the incredible breadth of content as Rebecca just assigned me to do some videos. Things that you have done is just remarkable. And how do we get those messages in front of folks at a time when they need them? And there'll be some new tools that we begin looking at of how we can share videos and encourage people. And then recognize this current state that we're going through is creating lots of challenges for people. So there are still these incredible challenges faced by our staff, their families, people we support and their families. And that's going to continue with us for a while. And so that resilience, will need it to keep going. And we want to help you in ways we can to do that. And thank you for making through it. And thank you for all you did. And it's exciting to hear new programs getting started in the midst of all this. So congratulations.
Great. Well, we're going to keep asking you, what can we do to continue to improve the features of the app and everything like that. But we are happy to say that we have made some updates. And so I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca, who's going to share a little bit about some of those updates and what have we been doing in terms of making Quillo Pro even better. So Rebecca?
Thanks, Sue, and good to see everybody. We missed you in July, but as Sue noted, we were busy getting Quillo Pro off the ground. So if you've been on the app since probably Saturday or Sunday of this past weekend, you might notice a bit of a facelift and some updates to the app. So I'm going to give you all a quick look at the main updates on both the admin side for you all, as well as for users at the end, if you haven't had a chance to poke around yourself yet. So again, thanks for it really was your feedback that helped to lend to a couple of these updates and some that we'll continue adding in the coming months. So briefly, I'll start with the admin side for what you all will see that'll be a little bit different, and then we'll look at the user experience and how that might have changed. So the main update on the dashboard is within the videos and the daily focus. The primary thing you'll see here, backing up, this is a demo site. So these are as if I was an agency and we had a couple of my own agency's videos in here. That's what we're showing. And one item that you've noted for the daily focus that's going to be key is the ability to schedule a daily focus while drawing from the broader Quillo library. So the process to schedule the daily focus is still the same, of going to the daily focus tab, and you'll see, as usual, the video that we've got scheduled from here for Quillo. But you'll note now when you go to pick your custom daily focus, not only do you have your videos listed, these 3 that you just saw on the demo library, but you've also got the entire Quillo library behind it. Now, this is just showing 27 videos because it's a demo site, but when you go on your own page, you'll have the 1,100 plus videos on the Quillo library to pick from. So we'll continue to schedule videos 365 days a year. You'll have the calendar ahead of time, but if you want to schedule something on a different topic than what we have, you'll have your own library to pick from as well as Quillo's. For example, maybe in October, the state of Illinois is doing like a health and fitness month, right? And so for one of those weeks, you want to highlight a bunch of health and fitness focused videos. You'll be able to search not only your own library, but also Quillo's to set that video. And just like usual, it'll override our daily focus for the day and be your featured video. The Quillo daily focus will still be at the top of the feed. So folks will still see what we put as current, but the daily focus, of course, will be personalized from you there. So we were excited to get that going. And It's still set up the same way with, picking your notification type and scheduling your video for that day. And you can see here, now we've got both of them set. So we were excited to kick that off. The one kind of asterisk that I'll note is that keep in mind, if you do pull from the Quillo library, the odds of this happening are pretty low just because there's so many videos out there. But because we already have our schedule out, if you pick the What Color is Your Pea video for the 19th of August, there's a small chance that we might have scheduled it for later in that month or early in September. So your folks might see the same video within a short time. So you might kind of poke around, just make sure that it's not like the next day or something. But if folks do see the same video within a couple months, that's just part of the repetition approach of, of seeing that important message a couple times. So on the portal side, that's really the main difference that you'll see. The other thing that I'll note about the portal is that, as we've been mentioning since the spring, updates to the dashboard to this portal are part of our phase 2 updates with Quillo Pro. So we haven't made a lot of changes to the dashboard, the data that's pulling in, because we want to get a sense from you all what type of data you're looking for, what's on here that you wish you could pull but isn't currently involved. So having some time for you to play with this and say, gosh, I wish I could XYZ, that's what we'll be updating here shortly. So keep that in mind as you start to play around if you have other insights on the types of data that you'd want to be able to see, and we'll clean all of that up once that input is gathered. So, switching gears a little bit to the user experience. So obviously I'm on the desktop viewer at this point, but this is similar to how it would look on your phone. You'll notice a new login page once you get to the landing, and 2 buttons here, where last time it would have just been your login. The create account is actually a feature for our Quillo Connect users. So when you sign up to the Quillo app, you basically are heading one of 2 directions. You'll continue on with the login for Quillo Pro, but if you or one of, a new user happens to click create account, that's all right. We're not going to send them to the wrong spot. It says, if you're here for Quillo Pro, click here to log in and it'll take you to the same login page, right? So if that comes up, that'll be part of the login. And then the new look has more of the kind of the social media type scrolling that you'll see with this continuous view of videos coming down the way. It's a little bit bigger, fits the screen in a more crisp fashion. But otherwise, you've got your videos here. We do have a new tour the app video up front, just as a, yes, that is Maddie. We've got, Jenny just pointed out, Maddie, one of their staff from Madison's here. So yeah, glad to have their videos up. And when you pick a video, say we were watching Maddie's video, the other update that we've added, in addition to your buttons to like and favorite and add it to a playlist, you'll also now have an option to share a video. This would be to share a video to somebody within your team saying, hey, I think you'd like this particular video. It's another way to direct them to it. In this case, it'll just be clicking the app and you'll get a link to copy and put in a text message or an email, something like that. So those are the main updates that we're seeing so far. Any questions? Well, and do keep an eye out with the new shiny updates. There may be some small bugs and glitches. If you're noticing something that just doesn't feel quite right, make note of it and let us know. It's possible that there's a behind the scenes glitch that we can work with our developers to update pretty quickly as we kind of smooth out some of these wrinkles with getting started. But otherwise, coming out in phase 2 will be again the more dashboard updates and then some other kind of cleanup on the app. So,
Rebecca, one thing you might want to show is that you got the all categories, learn together, the share experience, and take a moment. And if you just click on those buttons, that will take you to the videos about learn together. It will take you then to share experiences, click off that. You see how it changes there. So it's a little bit easier to manipulate to the different areas. There's still the search feature too. So you can, search, and we've tried to make improvements there to make it faster and various things like that. So again, just a little bit more user friendly, and I think, and allows the users to have a different experience. So hopefully they'll see those. And then of course you can still select your favorites and do those type of things. So Jenny?
Yeah. I don't know, do you have any experience with using this link for sharing the videos within MailChimp?
It acts as a tiny URL, so it should link anywhere, right? It'll just be a hot link. What it's doing is actually just showing, here I can pull one to show you what the link is going to do. So if I take this link and say I clicked this from an email or something and put it up here, it's going to take me to sort of a Quillo Lite. So I'm not signed into this right now, but it's letting folks see a Quillo video just by having that link. So this is if they're not yet a member of Quillo within the organization, this might be a good way to, hey, check this out, let us know if you want to sign up, that sort of thing. So to your question, Jenny, putting it in MailChimp should work the way that any link would.
There's some feature on MailChimp where I can link to a YouTube video and it'll pop up the video preview. So I wasn't sure if it would work in the same way as that to draw more people to realize that it's like
a video. Yeah, truthfully, that's not something that we've tested, which would be a great idea to look into. As far as the main difference might be that if MailChimp knows that YouTube is going to be a video, it might embed it automatically with a tiny URL. I'm not sure if it'll read it the same way, but that's a great, great feature to possibly test. So
I'll check it out. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And welcome, Joe and Colleen. We're just looking at some of the new features for Quillo Pro. So, any other questions on the updates here? Or John or Sue, anything you want to add? John, you're muted.
We're excited about the sharing videos. This actually came as a suggestion from one of our CLC users. Erica was talking about how she could share with other staff within her organization when she found a good video to encourage them to watch. So we're hopeful that'll work well as we begin looking at it and thinking about ideas of how do we try things like with the MailChimp or other pieces. Please let us know what you run into with that or how it works, because we will be glad to figure that out of how we make that happen. So great. The only other thing that as we look at what's coming forward, and Rebecca, you may be jumping in with this, is what's coming next on the idea of segmenting. So we're probably about 8 weeks away of giving you the ability, as part of our phase 2 changes, to select subgroups of your staff for specific videos that you want to get to. So even as granular as the 8 staff that work throughout with 4 guys in one particular home that you really want to work on something, or you could send it to a group of staff, a larger group of staff. But we're going to be talking with some of you about how to make that segmenting work so that you can get down the messages to the people that you think really you want to reach, as well as reaching to everybody in the agency. And that's one, as we start building that out, we're going to ask you for advice, because Meredith at Trinity, or when you've got so many staff, how do we make sure it gets to the right people? And what we believe in testing this and talking to folks is that the more targeted the message, the more individualized it is to folks, it'll find that home and people will want to look for that. And so we're going to ask your help on how do we make that work best for you along the way. Yeah, and Rebecca, your points there, new hires, overnight shifts, specific departments, all of those are going to be possible where you would be able to create the segmented lists and manage them specifically for what you want to try to do.
Okay. All right, so lots of exciting things in the new Quillo Pro. And as Rebecca was mentioning, as you work through it yourself, if you see little things that would be helpful or need to be a little bit fine-tuned, let us know so that we can continue to work through that. All right. Well, it's time for a moment of reflection. All right, so in this particular moment for self-care, we didn't add any videos this time, but what we'd like for you to do is to do a little reflection. And you don't have to talk about it now or anything like that. But think about what makes you feel calm and what makes you feel in control. So whatever that is for you, what is the one action you can take today to feel calm or in control? So reflect on that for a moment, jot it down. I know what I'm going to do after I get off this call. And I think sometimes what we have to do is just, you know, maybe there's a staff person that's having a tough day. Maybe just ask them these 2 questions and help them just start to reflect on what it is that they can do. So that's our moment for self-care today for everybody. All right, Colleen, I see what you're going to do is making a task list. Awesome. Very good. All right. And sometimes just telling someone else what you're going to do to hold yourself accountable is important too. So you take the time and do what you need to do. All right.
It's like a great list, Colleen. You've got it started there.
Okay.
My problem is I have to keep rewriting it.
Yeah.
I need to
Dave,
make
I
it
think
in
you were
post-it
muted
notes so
there.
I can prioritize.
Makes for another task on your task list.
Yeah.
Update task list.
Well, we were talking earlier, Colleen, about some of the key takeaways that we're hearing from our subscribers as we talk with them one-on-one. And time was, you know, one of the big things where, again, it's never taking things away off your task list, it's adding. So time just, you know, continues to get away. So awesome. Great. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. And for those that came in a little bit late, we're sorry that you weren't able to join us early on, but we're glad you're here with us now. We are going to do another call in September. It'll be on September 16th. And we'll be talking about that DSP Appreciation Week and things that you can do for National Disability Voter Registration Week. So those are 2 big things coming up. And so we want to make sure we highlight some of those things. So
just a quick note on that. Typically in the past, that Disability Voter Registration Week has been in July. I'm not recalling the reason why it was moved to September. It just happens to fall the same week as DSP Appreciation Week, this year at least. So if you're planning ahead for any events or anything for either of those topics, that'll be the same week. And honestly, every week is a good week to talk about voter registration as well as, you know, DSP Appreciation Week, but there'll be more kind of hubbub about both of those at that time.
Absolutely. Great. All right. Well, as we close off, any other questions from anybody?
I do. I have like 5 videos that are still pending from July that haven't been accepted for Quillo Nation.
I will take a look at that. I'm sorry if they slipped through. I'll take a look at it right away.
Thanks, Joanna.
Yeah, thank you.
I have to say, we have really enjoyed your contributions to the Quillo Nation group. So thank you for creating those.
Oh,
and in honor of
one
Colleen,
them
I'm
is
adding it
talking
to
about what makes me feel calm is swimming with my feet in the ocean.
Awesome. Yeah.
That sounds lovely.
It was nice.
Well,
Did you
thanks,
just
Jenna.
recently do that?
Yes, I did that one on the 1st.
Awesome. Very fun.
Mhm.
Okay. Great. Well,
Thank you, everybody. And it's great to see everyone and the great news of what you're doing. And thank you for letting us be part of your lives with Quillo Pro.
okay. You guys all have a great week, great month. We'll see you in September. All right. But don't hesitate to reach out if there's something we can help you with. All right. Have a good one. Take care.
Excellent.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.